Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Third Unitarian Church. We're so glad you could be with us here this morning to celebrate life, grieve our sufferings, and connect with one another. We hope you find Third Unitarian Church to be a place that enriches your spirit and motivates you to take action to bless the world. We welcome all people in this church, and we welcome your whole person. If you're a visitor today, we'd like to say a special welcome to you and invite you to join us downstairs for a very special coffee hour following the service. Today is the last day you can sign petitions supporting the clean energy and jobs bill that a busload of Unitarian Universalists are taking down to Springfield on Earth Day on Wednesday. This bill is about making sure that your children and grandchildren and the generations that come after have a healthy world to live in. And it's also about giving clean, renewable energy jobs to the communities that need them the most. So please sign a petition. Make Jennifer and TUC look good when we go down to Springfield on Wednesday. Or better yet, get on the bus and come on down with us. There's still space on the bus for anyone who wants to come. So you can see Karen Alanis for more details on both of these. The Truly Alive auction will be held after service this Sunday, May 3rd. Not this Sunday. This is not May 3rd. In a couple of weeks on May 3rd. Auction enticers are downstairs. You can support our programs and have a great time. A reminder that throughout the month of April, Third Unitarian Church will be collecting non-perishable food items and monetary donations for the 2 food pantries that serve the Austin community. In addition, April is the month for our Reading Reduces Recidivism paperback book collection for the Stateville Reception Center. Please contact Leah Shapiro if you have any questions. The membership committee will have its ethnic dining this evening at 5:30 p.m. at Saigon Pho. See Alex Matthews for details. There's also an Action in Austin meeting today at 4 here at Third Unitarian. Next week's forum will begin our preparation for our annual meeting. During the next 3 Sundays, you will learn about the budget, the proposed changes to the bylaws, and you'll get to meet the new board candidates. Become informed and vote with wisdom. At next week's worship service, we'll explore being open to personal revelation. How does it arrive? What if it arrives in a way that is unexpected? What if the message itself is unexpected? How do we open ourselves to new truth in our lives? We will ask these provocative questions and see where the answers lead us. Once again, welcome to Third Unitarian Church.
we light this chalice, a symbol of hope, faith, freedom, and love, and connect with Unitarian Universalists in the past, present, and the future.
We open our service today with these words from Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. Revelation comes to those who are radically hospitable to what they do not know. Will you all please rise in either body or in spirit and join us in singing the opening hymn, which is an insert in your order of service. Come and go with me.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning, you three. Up there, third. Good morning, Jude. So glad you're excited to be up here this morning. So, have any of you ever made a mistake? Like, ever? Just once, maybe? Cotton's made several mistakes. Okay, excellent. I'm sure that's true for everybody sitting in this room. So this is, you're not sure if you have or not? All right. Most people make mistakes, except for this one girl, and I'm Beatrice, who I'm going to tell you about. And at the end, there's going to be a really obvious moral to the story, and I want you to see if you can find the not so obvious one. Okay? Still on to it? This book is falling apart. So this is Beatrice Bodwell. For Beatrice, Friday began like any other day. She matched her socks, and of course she put her shoes on the right feet. She remembered to feed her hamster, Humbert, his favorite food, which was broccoli. And when she made a sandwich for her brother, Carl's lunch, she used exactly the same amount of peanut butter and jelly. When she stepped outside to greet her fans, because Beatrice had fans, she didn't forget to say good morning and thank you. They asked if she made her bed. Well, of course she had. They asked if she forgot to do her math homework. No. What about tonight's talent show, they asked. I'm ready, said Beatrice. After all, her juggling had won 3 years in a row. You know, most people in town didn't really even know Beatrice's name. They just called her the girl who never made mistakes. Because for as long as anyone could remember, she never did. Well, unlike Beatrice, Carl, her brother, he made lots of mistakes. He ate his crayons, and he tried to draw with his green beans. He danced with his hands and played the piano with his feet. Carl loved to make mistakes. He thought it was awesome. At school, Beatrice was on a cooking team with her 2 best friends, Millie and Sarah. To make their giant rhubarb muffins, they needed 4 eggs. Beatrice went through the refrigerator and carefully chose the biggest, eggiest egg she could find. But on the way back, her legs slipped out from under her feet. The eggs went flying. Beatrice was about to make her first mistake. But she didn't. She caught them all. Oh, that was close, thought Beatrice. Sorry, Beatrice, I dropped a piece of rhubarb. Oh, and Millie, because she caught one in her mouth. So she couldn't talk. For the rest of the school day, Beatrice could not stop thinking about her almost mistake. On her way home from school, Beatrice watched Millie and Sarah ice skating in the park. Come join us, said Millie, it's fun. Beatrice watched them slip and slide on the frozen pond. Millie and Sarah laughed as they wallowed on the ice. No, thanks, said Beatrice. At supper, Beatrice barely touched her food. Is everything all right, kiddo? Asked her father. I'm worried I'll mess up tonight, said Beatrice, and everyone will be watching. Worry? You don't make mistakes, he said with a smile. Beatrice tried to smile too. After supper, Beatrice got ready for the talent show. First, she woke up Humbert the hamster from his nap. And next, she got the salt shaker from the kitchen table. Finally, she filled a balloon with water. The school auditorium was packed, and Beatrice felt her stomach jumping around inside her. Beatrice waited for her juggling music to begin. So remember the 3 things she got ready? That's her! That's the girl who never makes mistakes, said a woman. Oh, we know she'll be perfect, said a man. Well, when the music started, she tossed Humbert into the air. Next, she tossed the salt shaker into the air. And finally, the water balloon. See, those are the 3 things she's juggling. Beatrice did not miss a beat. The crowd clapped with delight. And Beatrice noticed something odd about the salt shaker. The specks falling out of it, they weren't white. Uh-oh. And Humbert went, achoo! Uh-oh. Well, Humbert was so surprised by his sneeze that he grabbed the water balloon with his claws. Kabloom! and pieces of water balloon and the pepper rained down on top of Beatrice. For the first time, and as long as anyone could remember, Beatrice made a mistake. And it was a doozy. The music stopped. Beatrice didn't know what to do. Cry? Run off the stage? The crowd sat stunned. They couldn't believe that the girl who never made a mistake made a mistake. Beatrice looked up at Humbert. He looked back down at her. His hamster fur was soaked and speckled with bits of balloon. Beatrice started to giggle, and the giggle grew into a chuckle, and the chuckle became a laugh, and the people in the crowd looked at each other, and then back at Beatrice, and they began to giggle, and they began to laugh, and they started to roar with laughter. Beatrice and the audience laughed until they couldn't remember even why they were laughing in the first place. And that night, Beatrice slept better than she ever had in her whole life.
Why did she have 2 pillows?
Why did she have 2 pillows? I guess that's how she was comfortable. In the morning, no fans were outside to greet Beatrice. And when she got dressed, and this is the important part, for no reason at all, she put on a polka dot sock on one foot and a plaid sock on the other foot. For no reason at all. Beatrice and Carl made their sandwiches, and this time they put the peanut butter and jelly on the outside of the sandwich, and they called it an inside-out PB&J. Lunch was really messy, as you can see, but it was really very good. And later, Beatrice found Lily and Sarah skating in the park, and Beatrice joined in with them, and she fell an awful lot, but she had a lot of fun anyway. Now, people no longer call her the girl who never makes mistakes. They just call her Beatrice. So what's the obvious moral of the story? It's okay to make mistakes, exactly. What do you think about the putting on the different socks and the making a different kind of sandwich? What do you think about it? Be creative. Be creative. Maybe like it's okay to do things your own way. What do you think about that?
Be a boomerang.
Be a boomerang?
Or a phone.
Or a phone, if you wanted to.
Every cartoon or something like that.
Yeah?
Sometimes people accidentally use the banana as a phone.
Oh, okay. People use a banana as a phone in cartoons. Yep, and they can do that. That's okay. It's okay to be who you are.
The monkey hops on the banana, the monkey eats the phone.
The monkey eats the, well, yeah, monkeys would eat a banana phone, you're right. What is good about mistakes?
Do you know what the banana phone is?
What is good about mistakes?
You learn.
You learn. Excellent, Jude. That is absolutely right. It's very important that we learn from our mistakes, and it's not a bad thing to make mistakes, as our friend Beatrice found out. That is our story for today. There's what? Oh, 3. There were 3 of them, right? 3 juggling. There was a day of 3s this morning in their class, so they're making more connections about that. Okay, so you can either return to your seats or go up to the RE space. Thank you for listening to my story.
So I'd like to invite you all to come into being in this room in this moment. Find your feet on the floor, your sit bones pressing evenly into the pews, your vertebrae and your spine stacking one on top of the next. And begin to attend to your breath. Feel it moving in and out, filling your belly. Be present here and now. Spirit of life and love, Holy One of our being and our becoming, that which is sacred within, among and beyond us. Bring forth in us that curious mixture of pride and humility that breeds love. Bring forth that ability to know and love oneself, warts and all, that enables love to be truly felt for each other. Let us see ourselves clearly. Be honest and be true to our deep knowing, and then still set that knowing aside when it is time. Let us both know our own culture and still be able to move in the world with cultural humility. Let our deep knowing enable us to celebrate diverse ways of being. Let us know the world through those ways and our own in ways that are life-affirming and life-sustaining. And on this Sunday before Earth Day, let us commit ourselves once again to sustaining life. Let us affirm all those lives around us in their diversity with cultural humility, and commit to working in solidarity where we can all live in justice and peace, where we can all breathe clean air and drink clean water, where we can all celebrate and praise this life on the thriving, living, life-giving earth that we know and love. May it be so, and blessed be. From the Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman. We are all of us deeply involved in the throes of our own weaknesses and strengths, exposed often in the profoundest conflicts in our own souls. The only hope for surcease, the only possibility of stability for the person is to establish an island of peace within one's own soul. Here, one brings for review the purposes and dreams to which one's life is tied. This is the place where there is no pretense, no dishonesty, no adulteration. What passes over the threshold is pure. What one really thinks and feels about one's own life stands revealed. What one really thinks and feels about other people, far and near, is seen with every nuance honestly labeled. Love is love. Hate is hate. Fear is fear. Well within the island is the temple where God dwells. Not the God of the creed, not the God of the church or the family, but the God of one's heart. Every week we have an opportunity to share our values with one another through sharing our resources. Resources are a material expression of our power in the world. So when we give not because we are obligated to, but because through giving, this community offers us meaning and support. We give not because it makes the church possible, but because the church, by being, helps us together be possible. This morning's offering will be gratefully received, and may it be joyfully given. Will the ushers please come forward?